I arrived Sunday last week. I met him for the first time exactly a week ago on Tuesday last week, and I was with him at least for a few hours every day up until Sunday. I didn't see him at all yesterday. He left the hotel yesterday morning, and I don't know where he is now, but I know he's in Hong Kong.
So do you know what he plans to do next?
Well, it's something. It's out of his hands. Once I assume the US will ask for extradition and begin that process. So what I anticipate there'll be probably a long, protracted legal battle between the US and his lawyers.
Now, you said you had spent every day with him for about a week, a few hours a day. So what was that like? What did you make of his character, his motives?
I was sent here by The Guardian to establish whether he was for real. Was this some sort of fantasist? So I wasn't sure what to expect. In fact, I expected, maybe some sort of 60-year-old disillusioned intelligence official. So I was surprised that he was only 29. And again, initially I thought, why is he doing this? But over the week, he started to win me over. I thought he's a genuine idealist. He believes in the idea that the internet should be free. He believes that people should lead their lives without the intensive, intrusive surveillance by the state. And, because of his beliefs, he's prepared to sacrifice everything. I mean, he's given up his family, he's given up his girlfriend. If he's extradited, he faces the prospect of spending the rest of his life in jail. So he's sacrificing a lot for what he believes is one of the most important principles in a democracy.
So you truly believe that his motives were pure?
I don't see what else he has to gain from it. If his motives weren't pure, look at all the material he's got. He could have taken that material and sold it to the Chinese government or any other government and made lots of money, and he hasn't done that. In fact, and it's not a mass dump the way that Bradley Manning did. He's been very selective in the documents that he released. He didn't want to cause any harm to any individuals, any agents or anyone operating. So he was very selective in what he's done. It was very deliberate. And look what he's achieved. This time last week, there was no debate in America about security versus privacy. And now this huge debate is underway.
But do you think he was prepared for just how big this was going to be? I mean, depending on who you talk to, he's either a hero or a traitor.
Yeah. Well, I think he anticipated that, but myself and my Guardian colleague, Glenn, we thought it would be a big story, but not on this scale. I didn't expect it would ignite a debate in America. But funnily enough, he seemed to think it would do that. Maybe he was overly optimistic, but it certainly turned out to, that's the way it's turned out.
Now, you say he's still here in Hong Kong. It's expensive to be here in Hong Kong. He's been here for about 3 weeks.
Yep, you're exactly right. By the end, he'd maxed out his credit cards. Not only was he paying a fairly decent hotel, he was having all these meals brought to his room, which is an expensive thing to do. So he either had maxed out his credit cards or he was almost there. So he doesn't have much money. But you've seen already, you said hero or villain. So many people around the world, as a result of that video, now see him as a hero. And the money is flowing in already into defence funds for him. So I don't think money is going to be a problem for him.
But how do people get that money to him? Are you going to be able to get that money to him? And why did he choose Hong Kong?
Well, I can't get the money to him. I'm a reporter, so I can't become involved in that. It's something we'll need to explore. As a reporter, I don't believe in, you take a story and then you walk away from it. So, I'll need to explore that. Hong Kong, that's a really good question to me. If there was no extradition treaty with the US, I could understand why he would come to Hong Kong. But what he said, he wanted to come to Hong Kong because he thinks you have a tradition here. You've maintained the judicial tradition. You have a strong tradition of freedom of the press. He thought, despite the overarching role of the government in Beijing, he thought that Hong Kong was basically a fairly free society. I still find it bizarre. He thinks, maybe he'd like to go and seek asylum in a place like Iceland. So then you have to say, well, why not just go to Iceland in the first place? But he decided no, he wanted to come to Hong Kong.
And just finally, during that time that you were with him in that hotel, what was he doing? Was he watching coverage of this on the...
He was, yeah. It's funny. He was sitting in his bed and he would be playing on his laptop, but mostly he would engage with us. We were doing endless interviews, but he had the television on and he was watching CNN. And there was a funny moment watching Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. There was a panel discussion about why had he done this and who was the leaker. Wolf Blitzer said to the panel, "Who do you think leaked this?" And he sat 8,000 miles away, sitting in a room in Hong Kong. He didn't chuckle, he didn't smile, he just looked serious and thought, I might be 8,000 miles away, but you'll know soon enough who the leaker is.